Alright, and welcome to one of my videos again. This one's not a maintenance or fixing car video. This one is more of like a discussion, and I think in this video I'm making a very important point. Here we are, we're going to discuss the benefits and the problems with electric cars, weighing them up, and I'll be making my own personal conclusion on them. And perhaps the possible, what I think should be the future for how we power our cars. Now, this is the new Tesla models that are becoming very popular in the UK. I think it's the Tesla S, and there's also a Tesla X. So, Tesla cars are based on a very famous scientist, lived last century, about the same period as Albert Einstein. Very ingenious man. He invented the alternating current that powers our electricity in our homes. His competitor was opting for direct current, and he went for alternating current, and he won out because there's less loss of energy when transferring electricity over overhead power cables. Also, there was many other things he was ingenious for, and some of them kind of controversial, never talked about, but he never really got the recognition. So Clever Car Company copies his name, but not his okay, I still leave the opinions till later. So advantages, definitely electric cars, they accelerate very quickly. There's less parts that go wrong. Here we have the charger plugging into the back of a car. Power charger connectors you may find in supermarkets, if you can find them in a car park. And the cars look good, don't they? You know, you got one of these ones, the lifting doors that are like a bit like a Lamborghini, and like I said, less moving parts to go wrong. Definitely an advantage. Lower center of gravity, better handling, better acceleration. So, US prices, $68,000 for the Model S and $85,000 for the Model X. Both look really stylish, they look really quick. And I won't play all this, I'll violate some
Tesla
sort
Model
of...
S is a luxury car that goes fast, browses the internet, and makes everybody want to be your friend.
Right, okay, so we've got a commentator there. It's a luxury car, it goes fast. And there's a lot of these guys out there pushing these electric cars on YouTube, even very while I would consider very good reviewers on YouTube, some of the bloggers, they all think electric cars are the next generation. And that's not the most expensive. I think currently 2017 April, Rimac Concept 1. Looks really stylish, very quick, $1 million. So we're going to keep that car in mind, a $1 million car for electric cars, so not cheap. So they're trying to phase out the old dinosaur, which is the diesel and petrol, with using electric or another alternative to kind of powered car. Charging ports, that's the thing about electric cars. One of the disadvantages is you need to find a charging port. Say if you ran out of electricity, how are you going to charge your car? So if there's not electric port, are they going to have mobile charging recovery services in the future? Could be. But for certain, you can't really get a bottle, you know, like you would get a gas canister, a petrol canister. You go to your local petrol station, fill it up, take it back to your car, and then get it going again. So it says here many stations are coming online. Fair enough, right? So one disadvantage is obviously the very long charging time. It says here for this model Tesla, 300 miles, it takes 52 hours at that rate. I'm thinking what I mean is you're going to be driving it for 2 or 3 days on average of driving. 52 hours, or it could be a week's worth, 300 miles. It takes 9.5 hours to charge, so one charge is 9.5 hours. Alright, so kind of a long time, I think. So if you ran out of power and you managed to make it to one of them stations, you plugged in, you went shopping, you did all sorts, 9.5 hours later. That's quite a long time. If you went to work, 8 hours of work would mean your car is fully charged at the end. So they had charging stations in every car park at work. So not that convenient. Probably maybe at night, maybe. Perhaps that could be an option if you remember. If you remember to charge at night, you plug it in. I'm sure everyone will. But the problem is when you run out of power, right? That's the problem. How are you going to get it charged? Common sense obstacle number 1, not hurdled, I think. If I was a businessman and I was into making cars, I would have just stopped about there. That's as far as I would have gone with that business concept. And it's been taken a lot further by a lot of people. Oh, I'll come back to this one. Toy cars. So the cheapest in the UK is this, right? One of the cheapest, £16,000 compared to say £50,000 for a upmarket one. So it looks kind of crappy, but we're going to keep this one in our minds as well. This Nissan Leaf. It looks kind of crappy, does the business, does the job. We're just going to keep that one hanging around because we'll discuss that one again. So, why do I think there's a problem here? 2 things: the very long charging times of electric cars, just not very convenient. And number 2, you see this car here, this has been my sticking point. This would be the thing that pissed me off. This £16,680 electric car. If this car has only just been charged and it's fully charged, and it comes out, you just drive it away, and you're at the traffic light, and you come across this car, £1 million car, and this car was hobbling to the next station. It's on a low charge. He went particularly fast for a lengthy period of time, and the power's gone down and he's struggling, and the station he went to, the charging station, was fully occupied, couldn't wait, went to the next one. So what happens is your car will be lower and lower in charge. So this car here is on low charge and this car is on high charge. You know what, if you've ever played with one of these electric cars, you know, even if one was a, say, battery operated, you will know one thing. Towards the end of that battery life on that toy, what happens is it goes slower and slower and slower. In fact, with all electric battery run things, the quickest kind of fun you'll have with it, the quickest it'll go is at the beginning when it's at full charge. What happens to a battery as you run it? It runs down and down and down, and voltage goes lower and lower and lower. If you have a torch, new batteries shine the torch up really well, and as time goes by, the torch kind of goes lower and lower in charge, and it gets less and less bright. And that's exactly the same thing. There's no getting around it with electric cars. This car here, this £1 million car, is going to go slower and slower and slower and slower, ever so slowly. And if you don't get to that charging station, if you was on a straight race at that traffic light with this car here, this car will beat that car. Now you think you just spent £1 million on this car, and this little fella comes along with high charge, he's going to beat you off those traffic lights. You're going to look a damn fool. That's one of the biggest reasons I would never buy an electric car. Where's the common sense gone in our world? Where is the common sense? I don't know. It certainly won't with these people who started to go for the electric car as an option, a future power source. Now, I'm not going to leave it there. I'm going to suggest what I think is the future. What I think in the future of the future is hydrogen. Hydrogen-run cars. Hydrogen is a product, or if you've got say a vessel full of water with a bit of salt in it, and you stick 2 electric probes on it, and 2 electric probes can be just very low voltage, 12 volts, 9 volts, 3 volts, whatever you want. Hydrogen will be produced out of one of the terminals, and out of the other terminal you're not going to get oxygen, you're going to get kind of chlorine deposits and chlorine gas if you put salt in there. And you could have the same kind of benefits as having an electric car. You can have solar panels on your roof, and electricity can be generated through the grid normal way with solar panels, just like electric generation with electric cars. Thing is, hydrogen cars are, here's an example, Toyota, what's it called? I don't know what it's called. Thing is, they use fuel cells, hydrogen cars, right? And you refuel your car by, like you're refueling petrol or diesel. You put a nozzle and you squeeze liquid in, and the hydrogen charges these fuel cells out. And when you run out of the hydrogen, you just squeeze more liquid hydrogen in, and the only byproduct of, or the only end product of motoring your car and powering your car is water out of the exhaust pipes. As long as you make stainless steel, and they should make stainless steel exhaust pipes for these, because there's going to be water flowing through it all the time, you're going to be okay. Stainless steel parts, where the water goes, you'll be absolutely fine. So water is a byproduct, no emissions, no stinky gas at the back at all. So you can have cheap and environmentally friendly ways of producing hydrogen. Could be from the top of your house. It could be you could be charging up, making hydrogen, right? If they found a way. But it says in this article they found a way of safely making hydrogen, safely storing it in a car. That's the only thing you got to do. You got to have a very tough fuel tank that is resistant to explosions, right? That can be done. We've got technology for it. It's sealed off. Once you fuel your hydrogen car at a refilling station, it seals itself off. No chance of explosion. That's absolutely fine. No, that's not a big problem. And it runs an electric motor, and it's silent, and it's got all the benefits. Apart from it's got sloshy fuel, a liquid fuel that can slosh around, right? And another benefit of these kind of cars, the same as with petrol and diesel, the longer you run the car, the quicker it will go, because it'll be lighter. Same with diesel and petrol cars. The longer you run it, the quicker they go. Not the opposite, the slower it go. So where is the common sense in all this? Certainly weren't with the people who started to go for electric cars. Certainly was not. Why on earth we went for electric wouldn't have been my decision when I say we. Alright, so it says that it means that necessary to produce hydrogen fuel industrially, and well, as much as 90% of all hydrogen produced by burning fossil fuels. So is electric from your flaming house. That's all done by fossil fuel. So we just need to change the way we do it. Use windmills and solar panels, and create hydrogen that way. Because like I said, you can do it with 3 volts. You try it with a battery, stick some water and salt in water, 2 terminals, 2 ends, and you'll see bubbles coming out. You can make hydrogen very, very easily. I don't know. Anyway, leave a little like below if you think this is common sense talk, and any comments, please just comment below. Tell me what you think. I think I'm very logical. I think there's a mass hypnosis going on. It works really well. People are just being guided, and they don't think for themselves. I don't know what's going on. Alright, anyway, please hit that like button, please subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and if you are a car manufacturer, of anyone who's got an influence on designing cars, on future cars, come on, be serious. Forget about electric cars, they are very, very, very illogical.